Hi, this is Coach John here from Learning Out of the Box, and today I'm going to talk about the importance of making careless mistakes. And you heard me right. It is very important to encourage kids to make mistakes because, first of all, many kids who first came to my class, they refuse to do any step or try to solve the question, not because they do not know how to solve the question. One of the main reasons is they are so afraid to make mistakes. This is the first thing that I will always tell the kids. When you come to Coach John's class, you are allowed to make as many mistakes as possible. And the reason why we said that is because to have growth, you need to make mistakes. Mistakes actually show what are the areas of growth for the kids. And when you look at a paper, and unless you have been getting 100 marks every time, there will always be some crosses. Let's say you get 20 marks out of 100. So now, to get more marks, what do we need to do? We need to zoom into not the right ones, not those that we got correct. We need to zoom into those that we got wrong. Because if you want to look at marks or math as a game of increasing as many marks as you can, where are the other marks allocated and you or your child hasn't gotten them yet? So imagine this is 20% or 20 marks. Here will be another 20 and here will be another 20. And for example, we look at number 1 at a time. We'll be looking at, say, this 20 marks. What is it that we do not know? What we can learn from making mistakes? And what can we do to avoid making the same mistake in the future if similar question comes out in exams or tests? When we are able to get these 3 right, we'll be able to secure the marks that we managed to get in the last test or exam. Let's say you get this correct, your marks increase from 20 to 40 marks. This also shows how easily you can improve. So areas that we already got wrong, and probably this one will be a blind spot, what we do not know, and what we have to learn so that we avoid making the same mistake or similar mistake in the future. So a lot of times when kids come to my class, they do not dare to write the first step, they do not dare to speak up, they do not dare to try underlining keywords or circling the right numbers because of fear. All these are learned behavior. And when they come for my class, the first class, a lot of all these behaviors, habits, beliefs that they have accumulated in the many years of learning math since they started to learn math. If they join my class at P5, and if they are scared, if they have this belief that they cannot do well, all these are learned before coming for my class, and these are the things that we will want to work on first. A lot of times when they come for my first class, what are the 3 things that I want to work with them first? The first thing is to give him or her the freedom to express. And what do I normally do? I will tell him or her that it is okay to make mistakes here, and I will not judge them like how they will judge elsewhere. The second thing will be really understanding where or what the kids need at that point in time. So for example, if the child, yes, parents want them to improve the marks, want them to understand the math questions, want them to be able to shine like a star and be able to solve any math questions that come their way. That's the parents' needs. We will always want to focus on a more child-centric approach, which is looking at what the child needs. So for example, if the child is someone who is scared, and if let's say doesn't dare to speak up, we will want the child to try not to speak up, but probably to raise their hands or to give me a thumbs up or just to smile or to look at me when I spoke to him. If the child has not been getting answers right and has always felt defeated, I will also want the child to start to have small taste of successes. For example, instead of getting the whole question correct, we want the child to be able to share just one thing or give him like 3 choices and get him to say out the number that represents the answer. And when he gets it right, we want to make it big, make it exciting, and then getting the child feeling proud no matter how small the success is. The third one is, before we wrap up, we also want to ask the child, how has the class been so far? And also, when the child gives any feedback, we want to only say good things that the child did well. For example, there's a child who was very quiet and didn't speak up at all. And I noticed that this child was able to answer one part of the question correct. And I have to remember that as a coach. And before the child left the class, I would tell the child, say, well done, I saw this and I saw effort. So keep it up and remember to do it again next time. Another example is the child was someone who didn't like math at all, which is also very common when we saw the child making effort to write on the board. And even though it was wrong at first and he tried again and he got correct, we also want to recognize not only that he got the right answer, but we want to recognize that the child was able to get the answer right by trying again. All right. So with this, I hope that you understood my perspective of why making mistake is important, because it actually allowed the child more freedom to express, and also this is where we start to build the child's confidence in math. This is also first big step that any child will take to move towards getting better grades and also having higher math confidence. I hope that you benefited from this video, and I'll see you in the next one.